Great to see you today, sir. In just a few hours, Theresa May has lost 3 key members of her cabinet. Is her government teetering on the brink?
Morning, Rory. I certainly think her leadership is. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not gone by next week as Prime Minister, because it's difficult to see how she can survive this. She's come up with this withdrawal agreement that nobody wants. It doesn't satisfy the Remainers, who don't want to leave anyway, and it doesn't satisfy the Leavers, because under it we don't really leave. So no one's going to be a bit happy about this. I don't believe she can get it through Parliament. And of course it also has to come through the European Parliament. UKIP MEPs will vote against it. I think other groups will vote against it here, so I'd be surprised if it actually got through this Parliament either.
Do you expect any more resignations?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think we've had 13 so far, haven't we? And I think that anybody in the Conservative Party who is a Brexiteer and values their seat and actually wants to win again whenever the next election comes will have to disassociate themselves from this, because the Tory party membership is up in arms. We have, in UKIP, we've been inundated overnight with people applying to join online, not just Tories but across the board. And people are deserting the Tory party. I've seen on Twitter people tearing up their cards and taking photographs. So this deal doesn't actually satisfy anybody. And I've been on Russia Today many times over the last 2 years, Rory, talking about this, and I've said, you know, this is an elaborate charade in order to reach this point where we have not really leaving the EU withdrawal agreement. Mrs May was a Remainer, she never wanted to leave, and now she's got this deal that basically we don't leave and it doesn't satisfy anybody. So I'm not sure what the next step is going to be. I've argued on your programme and everywhere else that I could get on that the way to leave is actually to repeal the 1972 European Communities Act as a first step, leave under our law, and then tell the European Union how our exit is going to work. What we've got, they're laughing at us. I heard a remark that Mr Barnier is supposed to have made, which is that he has broken Britain. Well, he's certainly won this battle, but he hasn't won the war, because the British people are not going to stand for this. 17.4 million people voted to leave. That's what they want to do. And I think even more people now will want to leave when they understand how the European Union treats Britain and how zero respect they actually have for us and our democratic decision to leave.
It's interesting how you describe this Brexit saga as an elaborate charade. Do you think a vote of no confidence might be in the offing?
I think that's quite possible. I'm hearing speculation about this, that the chairman of the Conservative Party already has the 48 letters that he needs in order to trigger a vote of no confidence. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And whichever side of the argument you're on in this, how can you have any faith or confidence in Mrs May to actually deliver it? I mean, she isn't satisfying anybody in this respect. And, you know, she's a Remainer who is supposed to be in charge of the leaving process, and yet, as I say, has reached this agreement where we don't really leave, and she's completely useless. Either this is a deliberate plot to actually not take us out of the European Union, or she's completely useless. You can't have it either way. She's certainly not done a competent job. You can't keep going to the European Union and saying, oh, please, how may we leave? Please agree a deal with us, because they don't want us to leave. Why do they? It's not in their interest that we should leave, so why would they help us do that? It's utterly and totally the wrong way to approach this kind of a negotiation, which is you tell the other side what it is that you're going to do, and then you tell them how you want to cooperate with them in areas that need joint decisions and cooperation. But to put all of the balls in their court and then expect them to play a fair game is ridiculous.
The Labour leadership say that a general election is the only way out of this impasse. How likely are they to get one, and would it actually break the deadlock, do you think?
I think that that's a possibility. I think what Mrs May probably said to her cabinet over the last couple of days, individually, she's had them in the office, is, well, you can keep me and my not really leaving the European Union withdrawal agreement, or we might end up with a general election and you'll get Jeremy Corbyn and his rabid Marxists. That obviously hasn't frightened them enough. So I feel that a general election could be in the offing, and I've been preparing my party for that for the last few months, with selecting candidates, telling them to raise money to fight an election. So we will if that election comes, we will be targeting Remain MPs of all parties in Leave seats as a priority, and we aim to fight as many seats as possible, because UKIP is the only party that is a genuine withdrawalist party, and we have been for 25 years, and we've been entirely inconsistent in everything that we've said over that 25 years, and everything that I have predicted about this whole process since the referendum has come to pass. It's exactly as I said it was developed, in this completely dishonest way, where we're now left in this utterly ridiculous situation, which is unparalleled in British history, where we've had a Prime Minister prepared to sell out the country to a foreign power, which is precisely what she's done.
Mr. Batten, my last question before I let you go. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, but if you were to send a message or any advice to Theresa May, what would you have to say?
For God's sake, go. You're not doing any good. Let somebody step up to the role of Prime Minister who actually does want to leave and has a clue on how to actually make it happen. And if the Prime Minister wants any advice on that, I'll be only too happy to give it to them.
UKIP leader Gerard Batten joining us live here on RT International. A great pleasure to have you on. Thank you for your insight. Thank you.